Hey guys, I'm Bunny from BunnyCakes.com, and this is my 2013 challenges, reading resolutions, goals type video. I don't know what to call it. Shit I plan on reading in 2013. That works. So basically, I just kind of wanted to talk about what goals I've set for myself for the year of 2013 for both my YouTube channel and my blog and in reading in general, and kind of see where that takes us. My reading goal for like how many books I plan on reading in 2013, I set it very simple. I set it at 52 because I don't want to feel stressed to meet it. I want to feel like it's something doable, and I feel like one book a week is very doable for me, even though, you know, some weeks I may read 4 books that week. I might have a week where I don't actually complete any books, especially around the holidays. So I felt like setting one book a week was a doable goal for me. 2 years ago, I set it and missed it by half a book. Last year, I set it at 52 and I made it by hitting 69. So hopefully this year I'll be able to make it again. We'll see what happens. As far as challenges go, I picked some pretty simple ones. One I set for myself, I'm just going to kind of call it a year with Lemony Snicket. I want to read all of the Lemony Snicket books. I know you're rolling your eyes, anybody, those are kids books, whatever. They are kids books, but they're kids books that I have never read and my kids have. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I should read them. Not to mention, I've read the first one. I absolutely love it. I love the movie, so I want to read the series. It's one of those series that's on my list of things I wish I would have read when I was a kid, if that makes sense. And I don't see anything wrong with me wanting to go back and get those books in. I've not read Harry Potter, and eventually I plan on reading Harry Potter. So if that's okay, and those are considered kids' books, why can't I go back and read Lemony Snicket? So I'm going to do a year of Lemony Snicket. There are, I think, 12 or 14 books in the series, and I'm going to knock them out, maybe do one a month, and get them all read. Another challenge I set for myself, this is actually a challenge that goes on in some of the genre groups over on Goodreads. Like last year I did the Name That Thing, but it had the stipulation on it that it had to be a horror book. So this year I'm just doing Name That Thing in general. And basically what it is you take the letters of your name. So for me, it's B-U-N-N-Y, and I have to find a book title that begins with that letter. So like last year for B, I read the book Blackbirds by Chuck Wendig. So this year I'm not going to make it just be horror. I'm basically just going to try to find books that start with those letters, and hopefully I can get that challenge done. It's just a fun little way to kind of help me get to my goal of 52, if that makes sense. I'm going to continue my Sundays with Stevie. Basically, I have so many Stephen King books. I've not read them all. I've not read anything newer of his. And if it came out from Under the Dome on, I've not read any of those. And I also want to reread some of his older books because it dawned on me that I don't have any Stephen King reviews up on my website. I think I do now because I started doing this last year. But when I started it last year, I didn't have any, not a single review for Stephen King up on my blog. So that's definitely something I want to work on, was to get some of my Stephen King's read. Another challenge I'm setting for myself is to read some of these, I'll call them dusty book covers. Books that I have bought, but I was so backed up with other stuff that I didn't get a chance to read them. But I really want to read them. So I have quite a few books that I've accumulated over the last year that, because I've been getting in review copies, I need to read the review copies, and I can't necessarily read the books that I've purchased for myself. So this year I'm going to try to find a way to work some of those older books into my reading list so I can get those read. So basically what I'm planning on doing to make this happen is, you know, everybody talks about your TBR, what's on your TBR, what's on your TBR. I don't like to set a TBR because, for one, that sets yourself up for failure. If you say, these are the books I'm going to read this month, and then what happens if you're not, what if you pick 4 paranormal romance books and you're just not in the mood for romance? Maybe you want some comedy, or maybe you want some horror. So you kind of set yourself up for failure if you do that. So basically my TBRs every month are going to be about the same. I'm going to read one book club pick, which I'm actually in 2 book clubs now, but for sure I'm going to do one book club read, which is for the YT book club. Whatever their current book is, that's the book I'm going to be reading that month. I'm also going to be reading one older book off of my bookshelves, so that's going to get one of my dusty covers read and give me 2 books read for that month. So I'm going to be on track. There'll be week 1 will be the book club book. Another week will be the Dusty Bookshelf book. And that's also going to leave me 2 weeks to play with. 2 books that I can choose for my week, because I'm going to do 1 a week. So I'll have 2 weeks left to play with. That leaves me 2 books to choose, and I'll choose those out of my review copy books. So basically I'll have a book club read, I want to read, and then the rest of the month will be review copy books. And I'm not going to sit down at the beginning of the month and say this is the book that I'm going to read this month, even for my review copies, because I'm one of those people that if it's a book that is genre type book and I'm not in the mood for that, sometimes I'm in the mood for scary, and sometimes I'm in the mood for funny, sometimes I'm in the mood for adventure. If I'm really in the mood for something and I try to read something that's not in that genre, I just don't like it. It doesn't matter how well written it is or who the author is. If that's not what I'm in the mood for, I'm not going to enjoy it. And I really like to enjoy everything I read, especially if it's a review copy, because nobody likes to get a shit's review. Nobody likes to write a shit's review. Do you know what I mean? So my TBRs each month are just going to be very general. It'll be a book club book, an older book, and then 2 review books. I don't want to limit myself in with titles. The only thing that really is going to be set is whatever the book club read is. Everything else is going to be when I go to my bookshelf. If I'm in the mood for it, that's what I'm going to read. So I'm not setting a TBR for myself in 2013. I find that saying at the beginning of the month what I'm going to be reading that month, if I'm not in the mood for it, I feel like I should still read it because, oh, I already told everybody this is what I was going to read. And then it just makes me read slow because I'm not enjoying it and all that. Another one of the challenges that I signed up for in 2013, and I'm totally regretting it, and I blame it on Margie. I was looking over on Margie's blog, which is bumblesandfairytales.blogspot.com. She listed out her challenges that she was going to do for herself in 2013. And one of them was called the Standalone Challenge. And I thought, you know what? I'm totally going to do that. I'm going to do that challenge because I am sick of series books. So that was my thinking. I'm sick of reading series books. I want to read some standalones. Let's do this. If Margie can do this, I can do this. Yeah! So I signed up. And then it dawned on me, when's the last time you read a standalone YA book? Exactly. Because the stipulations are it has to be YA, it has to be standalone, and it has to come out in 2013. How many standalone books come out a year? Not many nowadays. I can't think of the last book I read that was a standalone that wasn't horror, and those aren't YA. So what am I going to do? I set myself up to fail before I even started is what I did, and I blame it all on Margie. One of my other goals for 2013 is to just in general be more organized. I find that if I'm focusing on my blog, if I really want to work on my blog this week, then I can't do anything on YouTube. Or if I'm focusing on YouTube this week, I forget to post on my blog. So I need to find some way to balance out the two. It seems like I can't keep both going at the same time, and it's driving me crazy. So one of the things I'm doing, and I'm going to show you. So one of the things that I need to do for myself is to get more organized, and in order to do that, I decided I would start a blogging binder. I already keep track of everything using Google Calendar, but let's be honest, sometimes you have ideas for stuff you want to blog about or stuff you want to do a video about, and you're not sitting at your computer where you can type it up. So basically, I made a blogging binder. I stuck calendar inside. I made up, spit it out, buddy. I printed up some pages that are like, I'll call them shooting sheets. Basically, it's just so I can jot down video ideas, and I can mark them off when I actually film them and upload them. So the front of it is just a general calendar, so I know what's going on what day. The next section are video ideas. Like if I'm laying in bed and have an idea, I can jot it down real quick. I don't have to get up and go type it up, which is when I get most of my ideas is either when I'm fixing to go to sleep or when I've just gotten up. So this is going to come in really handy for ideas for the channel. And then here is another calendar. This is for my blog. This is not for YouTube. This is so I can keep track of what's going on my blog. And I'll know what I'm posting on my blog. I'm going to put some blank paper in here just so I'll have some papers that I can do like random thoughts or whatever. But yeah, this is my my book world binder, and I'm hoping that it's going to help me be more organized in 2013 so I can keep my blog on track and keep my channel on track, and everything will work out well. I like doing both. Different reasons. I get different things out of doing each, so I don't want to give either one of them up. If I can find a way to marry them together and make everything roll smooth, that's my goal. That's what I'm working towards. So my main goal for 2013, even in the world of BookTube, is to be more organized. So that's it, you guys. That's my goals for 2013. How about it? Did you set any goals for yourself for 2013? Have you done a goals video? If you have done a goals video, comment down below so I can go and check it out. And if you haven't done a video but you still want to tell me what some of your goals and challenges are for 2013, comment down below. I especially would like to know what you're setting your reading goal at. How many books do you plan on reading in 2013? I think it's interesting because, you know, people tell me all the time, I read so much. You read so much. How do you read so much? I only read like 69 books last year. There are people like Deborah's Book Cafe read almost like 200 books. 200 books in a year. I can't even fathom it. I can't fathom how you have time to do that. So yeah, I don't know. What are your reading goals? Leave me comments down below. Thanks for watching, you guys. See ya.